Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Trap Lines and Inlines. In this episode, we're going to be installing a simple 12-volt, inexpensive 12-volt solar system for the Offgrid cabin here. We'll be showing you how I build my solar panel mount, all the wiring, the fuse box, the charge controller, the battery bank, all the wiring inside the cabin, as well as all my light fixtures and plugs and switches. So it should be a good video, guys. Hope you enjoy. Okay, first day installing the solar here. I'm just putting some posts in the ground for my my stand here that I'm building. I'll show you what all I got. So I got two 100-watt solar panels. They got the steel frame. They look pretty dandy. They're from EcoWorthy, and it was a 200-watt kit that came with a little charge controller here, as well as all the Y connectors and all this shit here, and the brackets and everything. So the first thing we're gonna do here is build a stand. I got 10 posts. We're gonna build a stand here for them, and then fence it off as well. You can see my cabin's just right there, wood smoke coming out of the chimney, and we're gonna run the wire down through this bush. I won't be able to dig it in here this winter because the ground's froze pretty good, so that'll be a project for the spring. But I'm not putting it on the roof or anywhere too close to the cabin because the cabin doesn't see a whole lot of daylight where it's at, especially in the summer with all the bush. But there's a nice clearing here, and we're gonna face it to the southwest and get a good bit of sun here, eh? So let's get started, guys. I've marked where this post needs to be, and I'm just breaking the frost out of the ground with my shitty old axe here. It's bent to fuck. Pounding post by hand is not a big deal, but doing it in -15 weather, well, that's a different story altogether. Let's drive this fucking thing in here now. I usually stand on the seat of my quad, but it's too damn slippery. That's dandy level now, boys. So now I've I laid out my panel, and I want this at about a 45 degree. So I'm gonna put another stand like this, only lower, just on the bottom here. So we'll put another post through. Don't worry about my axe, it's a throwaway. I didn't want them trees there. Well, I'm all done my custom bushwhacking job there. Okay, just putting the brackets on my solar panel. So it's just an L bracket, and or whatever you want to call it. And you just got a little screw, a little nut, and I've just been attaching it here. Okay, so my camera died on me there, so I was just had it charging, but I got my panels put up. So these little L or whatever kind of brackets you want to call them, I've been calling them L brackets, and I just got them tightened down there onto the panel. And I did angle them a little bit because it was a little short for space, but nevertheless they're all in there good now and tightened. So now these are live, eh? And looking pretty darn good, you know. I didn't spend much time and zero money on this stand here, and it's pretty damn sturdy, so looking good, guys. Let's fence it off here now. Okay guys, so I just slapped 3 strands of barbed wire around here really quick, eh? I used barbed wire so it wouldn't block as much sunlight. Sure, I'm still gonna lose a bit with these posts here, but it might save my solar panels a tilly with a bull moose, eh? So this is really good. So this is a 200 watt system, like I said earlier there. It's gonna charge one 12 volt battery, solar battery there, deep cycle, and it's gonna run LED fixtures inside the cabin, charging ports, one 12 volt fan there that I'm used to circulate the heat from the wood stove into my loft there, and all that stuff. So there's not going to be any big appliances like fridges or anything like that. I would maybe like to look into a fridge, a propane fridge, but that's all stuff I don't need. The thing you got to know about me in bush camp, is I'm outside all day every single day, working outside on the trap line, all that stuff. So literally all I need this cabin to do is cook meals, charge my shit, and sleep. So this entire system, it's a two 100 watt panels, the charge controller, everything, all the wiring, all the mounting hardware cost me $300 Canadian to my front doorstep, which is $225 US. So it was incredibly inexpensive. Figured I just couldn't go wrong, and it's gonna do what I need it to do. Nothing fancy, but it'll get the job done. So this is a good little project to get done today here. It didn't take me very much time building the mount here. It didn't cost me a dime, literally didn't cost me a dime, and it's good and secure, and it'll keep the panels good there. So now we're gonna get into running all our electrical wires and doing all that stuff and get all the electrical done inside the cabin. So stay tuned, guys. Okay guys, so I'll just show you what I've done here. I forgot my camera yesterday, so wasn't able to do a lot of filming. So these panels are on about a 45-degree angle, which is good. Like they're nice and steep that way, and they shed snow nice. So now you can see here on the wiring on the panels, you can see they got the Y branch connectors. So I'm connecting 2 wires to one. The way they've oriented, I can't tell if you see there's a positive on there. The way they've oriented these male and female adapters, you cannot get it wrong. It's really nice, eh? So you can see you got the male and the female here, and then they give you a strand of wire. It's red and black. And the positive will only connect to the positive. The negative will only connect to the negative. 10 gauge wire, which is even overkill. These panels will be producing like 15 amps at max. 10 gauge is good for 30. And so I've connected it here, and I've left all this slack right here. I figure I might need it one day, and if I want to add more panels or whatever, or move them around, I can always do that. So that that slack will be fine, just like that. And I haven't connected them here, so I'm not electrocuting myself inside. And then I've connected to 8 gauge. This is heavy duty armored stuff I found scrap there. Lots of flexibility and the option to add on with this system. So I'll show you. I've just run this wire here down through the bush to my cabin, and I left some pretty good slack in here. That way it won't have a problem burying it in the spring. But this stuff is tough, man. It'll freeze into the snow, and like they can step on it and kick on it or whatever, the moose and whatever else, and it'll be fine. I got it coming through the back of the cabin, and I got it, holy fuck. And I got it attached. I got it attached there too. So if anything pulls on that, there won't be pressure on the connectors. So we'll go inside my cabin. You can see I got wires coming out already. The dog figures this is his chair. So I didn't have enough of that armored stuff, and so just on the other side of this connection here. I've joined from the 8 gauge armor to this 8 gauge just Romex, whatever the hell they call it, eh? It's 8.3 cable anyway. And this stuff is all certified to go through the walls. And I've left a bit of slack on this here. That way you can push it out if you ever need to and work on the connectors that are on the other side of the wall. Now that I look at this, I'm like, why the heck didn't I put it so much lower there, eh? But whatever. So I run it up to the rim joist. That was a pain in the ass to drill. And you can see I got all kinds of runs here going on and whatnot. That's where I'm going to have my battery, my charge controller, and my fuse panel there is right there, and I really want it right there. You can see I got coffee on the go here on the wood stove. Don't mind the messing around here, guys. You know, it's tough. Like I'm living out here and building stuff at the same time. And you see I got all these wires done here, all sorts of funny stuff going on. There's 4 lights downstairs, 1 light outside. There's also a plug-in outside, and there's another plug-in over there that's gonna get wired in. And this is where my switch panel is gonna be. Now I've wired all of these switch panels. I'm gonna feed them with this 10 gauge stuff here. Feeding all my switch panels and plugs because they're all rated for about 250 watts. Even though all my lights are only using 3.5 watts each. And I've used 14 gauge for that, which is way overkill. But these little light switches that I found, they have plugs in them as well to plug in phone or whatnot, USB ports. So that's why it's wired for 10, because they're rated for 250 watts. Using 8 gauge, there's a lot less resistance and a lot less power loss. And you know, like I said, I can also expand the system to run more panels or move it around, so it's good and flexible that way. So anyway, guys, now we're going to show you all the wiring upstairs. It's exact same kind of deals I've done downstairs, and that'll be good, so stay tuned, guys. Okay, so you can see this nice drill bit I'm using. It works really good to drill through the studs here for your wires. I pissed it around with a speed bit there for a while, and it was a real pain in the ass. What I've been doing is I try and keep these holes as far back as I can go. That way I'm not worried about nailing into the cable, and it should make it easier on me insulating. So I'll just get a hole going here. There you go. We'll just keep drilling them all the way through. So we'll keep making holes through the studs. This is about perfect size for the wire. A little tad big, but it's still nice to work with. I want to drill as few holes as possible, and we'll just run this line just over there where I need it. So stay tuned. Okay, so you see I just got my cable set there, and now I'm just pulling her through. She pulls nice. So this one's gonna come right to here, and that'll run all the lights in the loft, which we're gonna put up there by the rafters there. So that'll be good. And then we have to wire in 2 plugs there. Okay, that there's all run here now. And I've been giving myself plenty extra, you know, like we'll go and we'll give ourselves plenty extra here, you know. You never know when you might need it or whatever. This one especially, because I'm gonna have my fuse panel there, and I'm not sure how all that's gonna go quite yet, so rather be looking at it than looking for it, I guess, eh? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take another run from here, put it somewhere about right here, and this is where my desk is gonna be, and it'll be nice to have a plug there, charge my laptop and whatever. See, I got my bed here, and then I'll put one probably right about here or something, and that way I'll be able to, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I'm going to take another plug and put it right about here, just so I can charge my phone and whatnot there right by my bed. Might run a cell phone booster or something. And then I'll also might put a fan there in the summertime. So yeah, things are looking darn good here, guys. 10 gauge run here. This is for the plug I'm going to have here. And this is right where my workstation is going to be, I figure. I just want to try and figure out, I think right about there will be good. Okay, so we'll just get this nailed in here where I want it. That should be good. Okay, now what we're gonna do, so my ladder is gonna come up right here, and I have my switch panel here, so this wire is gonna feed the switch panel, and I'm running little LED lights. They use very little power. I'm using 14-2 wire there. It's overkill, but I got some pretty long runs here, eh guys? And I'm also gonna be using the smallest bit that I can to drill the holes through the rafters and whatnot. So these nice little switch panels I got 2 of them. They have 2 switches on there, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm running 6 lights up here. It's gonna be way more than overkill. They're just cheap little things though, eh? I'm gonna wire 3 on each switch, so you can only run 1 if you only need 1, and save some power that way. Okay guys, so I got all my electrical done here, all my wiring anyway. You see I got just a shitload of wires going everywhere. I'm sure there's ways I could have done that to reduce the amount of runs I made and whatnot, but that all works good, you know. This little 14 gauge wire is cheap, and you know, I just drilled those little holes. I'm sure I could have pulled some of those little tighter and whatnot too, but you know, that'll work just dandy, I think, guys. So here's what we're gonna do here now, boys and girls. So I'm waiting on all my light fixtures and plugs and whatnot. They're not in yet, and I'd like to show all that in this here episode, but I gotta keep myself busy, and it'd be good to put those in once I get everything insulated. So what we'll do here now is I'll put up a quick little video to show me insulating this here cabin, and then we'll film that and then come back to this episode and show all the plugs and whatnot and everything. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll keep her going here right swift. Stay tuned. Hey friends, so I'm just installing all my plugs here. I got here, it's a very simple, inexpensive plug here. It's got the 12 volt socket, as well as 2 USB ports, and I have 4 of these. 3 are in the cabin, one's outside here, and they also have an individual switch to switch the power to these sockets here. You can see these are your feed lines. It comes with a shitload of stuff here, and inside here they got these stupid ring terminals on here, and in here it's got a fuse, and I don't want this. This is garbage. This is fused at the fuse box, so I got no use for it. So what I'll do here is just cut this right off because it's garbage. And you can see I've pulled my wire through. Okay, so we got to pull this insulation off here. Do you guys like my custom my custom electrical pliers here? So we'll just kind of get this pulled off, and you see expose the wire here. So that's dandy. Now we got to get this. You see this has got multiple strands to it. This is just single over here, but I'm feeding this with, this is 10 gauge wire, so it's plenty overkill, but I've upscaled a lot of these wires because of how long the runs are and whatnot, to account for power loss on a 12 volt system. So what I'll do here now, I'm using the white as my positive, so I'll get these all twisted together here. Get that nice and deadly, and now I'm just using my little orange. These are merits, I think they're called. Like I said, I am no electrician. You guys can already see that by now. And we'll get her on there tight, but not too tight that we're breaking the wires. And then we check, make sure it's good and secure, and those wires aren't gonna pull out there type deal. These are really nice to use, these little merits. They're kind of the cat's ass. I'm using my little orange ones. Get these all situated here. We got that one tightened down, or black to black there. And you can see I've got a ton of wire here, and I like to have it. It's better to be looking at it than looking for it in my mind, eh friends? So now I like to just put a little extra electrical tape. Just gives me a bit of peace of mind, honestly. You really don't have to. None of this is exposed or anything. Just holds these wires together nice. Okay, so I've cut this out crude here. This knot here gave me a lot of trouble. So there's just, it goes right into the wall, so we got lots of room to put all our wiring in there. So I've cut this so it's just the right size that that everything on the other side fits in here. Yet I can still screw in the outside. So it comes with these 4 little black screws here. And this is a marine grade plug here. So I'm not in the slightest bit worried about having it outside, especially because this one's under my overhang loft there. So I'm just getting this here screwed in there now. These little screws go in there pretty darn good. And yeah, they work out nice. And I figured I better have a plug outside. Lord knows I'm going to spend a hell of a lot of time on this deck here. So there she be, boys and girls. The one screw broke off on me there, so that didn't work out too great. But she's all set up there now, ready to roll. That looks dandy, guys. Now I got to put in a light up top there now. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you the little light fixtures I'm using here. I've already got most of these put in by now, so you can see they're just a small little fixture. They're good and adjustable, and they have an independent on-off switch. And this is really the key to my very small solar system here. These lights only use 3.12 watts, and they're really quite bright. They're little LED 12 volts. They're actually reading lights for RVs and whatnot. And you got this nice LED bulb here, and she just goes in right like such. And this is the rubbed bronze one. They're only about a $15–20 piece there. And I got 5 of these bronze ones. 4 haven't showed up yet. 5 bronze and 6 silver ones up in the loft. One is going outside here. And you see they just got very simple wires. We'll get them connected, and then 2 screws, and she's good to go. So I have 11 for the whole cabin, and with all of these on, all 11 lights on, I'm only using 33 watts of power. So that's really the key here. Okay friends, so there you go. I got the plug in. Now I got my fully adjustable light fixture. I'll probably shine that over on my wood pile so I can see it in the dark, and then this way I'll be able to find my my door in the dark, and hopefully I don't walk out to a pack of wolves or a big old bear on the doorstep again. So that's dandy, guys. Where's the dog? Okay friends, so you can see I'm working on the inside walls here. Probably doesn't do it justice. Poor lighting in here, eh friends? So you can see I got a light right, I got a switch right here. This is where I'll have all my kitchen and whatnot. I'm gonna get this switch all wired up here. You can see on this switch, I got my 10 gauge. This is feeding the switch. And then I have 4 lights here. Those are the lights for inside. And these lights haven't showed up yet. They're supposed to be here Thursday. Today's Monday. And then this one is the light for outside. So I'll show you the switch and get that all wired up. Okay friends, I apologize. The light's probably terrible. You hear me say that a lot, huh? So what we got here is a little rocker switch here. So I got 2 switches on each. So on this particular one, this is just right in on my front door. The one's gonna run the outside, the other one's gonna run all the lights in the inside on my lower level. And they got a little light here that comes on when you turn them on. As well as, this is really nice, they got the 2 plugs here. So I'm gonna have a shitload of USB plugs around this cabin, I tell you. So I got 2 of these. What I don't like here is they've only gave me the option to fuse the positive, to switch the positives, eh? I would have much preferred if they would have given me a prong there to fuse the negatives, because now I'm going to have to join all these little negative wires to the main feed that feeds the switch, eh? So, but I'll show you what we're going to do here. So what I've got here is an inline fuse. And you can see it comes out and takes just like an automotive size fuse there. And the reason for this, I'm going to connect this to all my positive wires, huh? And then from here to the switch panel. And I'm doing this because this line here that feeds the switch is fused at the fuse box. The problem is that fuse is too big for these little wires feeding my lights. So I'll put really could go down to a 3 amp or the smallest fuse you could find to put in here you couldn't find a fuse small enough to fuse the load size on those tiny little light switches, but it'd be plenty enough for the wires to be good, eh? So I'll tell you right now, friends, we're gonna have a real mess of wire here at this here switch box. What can you do, eh? So we'll try and get this as pretty as we can, but I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be a jungle. Okay, friends, well, what a hideous mess of wiring we got going on here now, friends. She's hideous, but all my electrical friends are just cringing right now. There's no doubt, hey? So we'll connect. Now I'm just connecting the feed line to this that feeds the whole switch. So we'll get that put on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, see, I connected all the negatives from my lights all to the main feed line. So it's just a mess. But it'll work good anyway. And I've given myself plenty extra wire here at this switch box in case I ever need to work on this, because, you know, I'm no pro electrician here, friends. Fuck, did I put the fucking stupid cocksucker? Oh, I left it on you, doggy boy. You're sitting on it. Good boy, you're okay. So now I need to find the female end that sits on this here prong, or whatever you want to call it. I think this is the right one here. Oh Jesus, I don't like this mess of wiring. Yeah, so this is the size that fits onto the male end on the switch. So what we'll do is we'll put these onto our inline fuses. Oh, fuck's sakes, forgot my pliers, bud. Shit. They're upstairs. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm taking my inline fuse, and this is going straight to the switch, eh? And I can only fuse the positive, like I said. So we'll get this put into the female end. That is the right size here for this. The male end on the switch there. You guys like my crimpers? They're mint. They work good. Fuck. So anyway, get these all put on here. Good. Now we got those two good. Now we'll just put a little bit of tape on these here for peace of mind. Should hold the connector in there a bit better too, but she's crimped down there good. I take the old fuck off pliers to him. Oh, she's not going anywhere, boys. I'll tuck all this wiring into the walls, of course, and you know it's always there if I need to make more connections or whatever else. It's pretty hideous so right now, friends, not gonna lie. So now I got, you see, these are the kind of fuses I take. They're the medium-sized little ones here. And this is a 5 amp fuse. It's the smallest I could find at the time here, eh? So in terms of wire size, like it's way underkill. And but it's like my lights are drawing like just a fraction of an amp a piece, eh? So this will work good though, friends. I might even put 3 amps. And if you ever blow this, which you shouldn't, it's 4 screws and you're right in here, eh? So it's not a hindrance, and it's just playing it a little on the safe side. And now we'll connect our female ends to the switch here. What a mess of wires, friends. It's hideous. So those are on there good, and they're all sealed up nice. I should put tape on the bottom of that maybe. You see these ones got the protective on them. Mine don't, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, friends. Jesus, Murphy, look at all this wiring. But anyway, now I don't know which lights I got on which switch right now, and I don't really care. But they're set up here now. Okay, friends. Now let's work on this here, all this stuff at the charge controller, fuse box, all that stuff. Get it out of the way, and then try this thing out here. Huh, what a mess of wires, eh, friends? Lots of stuff going on here. So what I have here is the one white one is coming from the panels. That's going to connect to my charge controller and then to my battery. And then these are my 6 leads. So I have 4 plugs and 2 switches. And I don't actually know which is which, and I don't need to because they all draw very similar amounts of power, as well as they're all the same wire size, so fusing is easy. So this is my little charge controller that came with the solar kit there I got for 300 bucks. You can see it's got 6 plugs, so there's a positive and negative to connect where the solar is coming in, 2 for the battery connection, and then 2 for your output. You could also feed, and then from the output, it's going from here, and here's my main negative and my main positive on my fuse box here. And then I have 12 fuses here, 12 places to put fuses. These are the positives, and this is a negative up here as well. So I could add more if I ever wanted to. And you can see here it's got a plastic cover to cover that all up. And it has little lights on these fuses. So if you blow one and you don't know which damn one it is, it'll tell you, eh, friends? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect where the panels are coming in to the controller, and then connect to the battery. And then from there, I'm going to run the wire from the output here, is what I'm calling it, off the charge controller right onto here. And we're going to have to fuse all that stuff, friends. I could also power this straight from the battery, but in my mind, I think the charge controller wants to know what it's getting and what it's putting out, but I'm not sure on that, and I could easily switch it over. So for now, I'm just going to connect it to the controller. Kind of let me know on that one, guys. And you can see they sent me all kinds of fuses here, and we'll get that licked up in a sec, friends. So wish me luck dealing with all these wires, friends. Okay, friends, just getting my little ring terminals put onto all my my mess of wires here, and these, my smallest 10 gauge ones, fit in there nice, eh? So we're gonna use them and get all that stuff put together. And what a mess. Okay, friends, so I got all my wires run here to my fuse box. Gonna put in some fuses here. You see I got plenty extra wires here, so when I come through and I put in my inside walls here, I'll tuck all that stuff in behind there, make it look pretty, but it's not gonna be pretty here now until I get through there with my inside walls. So yeah, I'll definitely be tidying that up for sure. So my little lights for the lower level showed up, and I bought about every one I can find of these, eh? So I have 5 of these color, 4 downstairs here, 1 outside there, and then 6 silver ones upstairs. And so I bought all I could find. Couldn't find them all in one color, so it's fine. You know, it looks good. What I completely forgot about is I bought these here little LED fixtures. They're nice. They go up underneath. And what I planned for them is to have them underneath my my countertop, or over top of my counters there, or whatever I got going on here. So I kind of forgot entirely to wire them in, eh? But what I can do here eventually, it won't be for a long time until I'm getting set up, eh? But I can just tap into the wires from those fixtures and run these little lights, if I so please. Anyway, guys, just doing a little cleaning here, get her to a respectable decency there, and then we'll show you my system. Okay, what a tremendous mess of stuff here, but I'll show you what's going on. So you can see my charge controller. I just had all this stuff unplugged, so my voltage is a little down. I had the solar line unplugged, but we'll turn it on here. Watch this. Oh, dandy. So right now it's telling me I got 12.6 volts in that battery. You can see it's about 3/4 there on my gauge, and it says that the panels are charging the battery, which are feeding the lights. You can see I got all my little ring terminals and forks there connected. So these here are the wires that are feeding from the panels, and then these 2 are connected right to the battery with little ring terminals there, and then these 2 are feeding the fuse box. Okay, you see my mess of connectors here. So I will likely end up changing this, friends, because as it stands, I've got all these lines to and from the fuse box fused to 20 amps, because it's just a 20 amp charge controller that came with the battery. So there's a limitation there on how much power I can draw out of this at once, 20 amps, eh? So I might end up I might end up just connecting the fuse box right to the battery, but we'll see how that goes, friends. You can see I've just rigged up a very redneck, quick and dirty stand here to hold the battery. Like I said, I want to get my big furniture up here before I get too trigger happy and put in my next section of flooring here. But you can see I gave myself so much extra on these wires, so I don't know, I might pull that up higher. But I will definitely be tucking all these wires in behind the wall when I come through there with my interior walls. I'll show you all the lights and stuff in a sec. And this is a deep cycle battery that I got a good deal on, and it has been working great here. You can see I got two different kinds of fuses. I ran out of the correct size, so I had to downsize quite a few of these, which is fine as long as they're not too big. And I've been using this here for a good while here, and it's been working great. So it's about the most cloudy, overcast kind of a day you can ever imagine, and it's having no problem keeping all the lights on, and I got my phone and I had my camera charging at once. It has no problem holding steady there at full charge. You can see it's back up to full charge there now. So you can see here I got 3 lights on each switch. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and 3 on at once, and then I turn on the other one. So that's a quick way to save power if I only want to run half the lights, because with 6 lights, half of them are facing the wall. She is well lit up here, I tell you, friends, very well lit. You can see I got her cleaned up to a respectable amount there for you guys, and all this stuff here is working great. You can turn them on, and they actually have a little volt gauge meter on there, so you can check how your power is doing without actually going over to the charge controller. And you can see she's at 12.3. Like I said, she's a little depleted because I had the panels unhooked there for a bit. All this stuff worked first kick. I didn't have any problems. And these lights are really nice, friends, and you can see how I got them attached there. They're fully adjustable, but I didn't really account for the full pitch of this roof, so you can't really shine them too high right now, but you can flip them upside down and that would work great too. And they all have an independent switch, friends, so you can really cut back on your power if you're really in a pinch, eh? But like I said, with all 11 of these lights on, I'm only using 33 watts of power. So that is really the key to this small system, friends. Out here, and I got this one on too, so that's dandy, guys. Yeah, and I have a nice switch here as well, and one over there, and the one outside too, for that matter. So yeah, I got a lot of mess to clean up here, all this wiring, friends, but we'll get her cleaned up dandy, I tell you, and she'll be just pretty by the time I'm done with her. You know, it's quite a mess right now, but you know, I've given myself a lot more wire than I need, because I'd rather be looking at it than looking for it, like I've said probably 10 times now. So you know, it's there if I ever need it, but it's quite a mess here now, guys. We'll get her cleaned up, no worries. Oh, and you couldn't ask for a more overcast day. Like, it's pretty ugly out here, and my panels are still keeping up no problem, friends. But yeah, they're producing great, guys. They're really doing good. I had to brush the snow off them this morning, but once the sun hits them long enough, the snow kind of just comes off there nice. But like I'm saying here, friends, like this is gonna serve its purpose and do great for the winter. And at any time, because of how I got this set up and all my upscale wiring and how I have things set up, like all the wires in the ground and in the wall are good for much more power than they're putting out. So I can potentially triple or multiply the number of panels I have, the wattage of panels I have, and I can easily add more batteries and a bigger charge controller and all that stuff, and it would really be no problem. So now I'm just gonna work on these interior walls, and it's gonna be real nice because now everything's well lit and I can work plenty good into the dark, eh? A bit of a mess around here because we're really giving her, friends. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Traplines and Inlines. I genuinely hope you enjoyed this here video. Like I said, guys, this is going to be the second last video on the cabin here for this winter anyway. We'll have plenty of content coming on the cabin here. Like, I live here. In all my videos, you're going to see it. But we just got one more video. We'll show all the interior walls, all the wood, and all the stuff I'm doing on the inside. We'll get furniture put up, and then we're done here, guys. I can't wait. Today is Tuesday, and I'm going to get her done by Friday, and then go trapping Saturday, guys. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching.